You know how they say, someday a girl's gonna come along and change your world forever? You have no idea.
Hey everybody, it's Stax with IGN Movies.
And it's Rich with IGN Comics.
We're here to talk about Wanted, this week's new release. It's based on the comic book by Mark Miller and J.G. Jones. It stars James McAvoy, Angelina Jolie, and Morgan Freeman, and it's directed by Timur Bekmambetov, the director of Night Watch and Day Watch. Now, Wanted is based on a comic book about a young man named Wesley Gibson. He's a 20-something office schlub, works in a cubicle not dissimilar to this one. And one day he's approached by a woman named Fox, a mysterious femme fatale type, who tells him that he's actually the son of the world's greatest assassin, and he's about to become his heir.
I knew your father.
My father left the week I was born, so...
Your father died yesterday on the rooftop of the Metropolitan Building. Sorry.
Look, the liquor aisle's just over there, so if you
Your
want to
father
go...
was one of the greatest assassins who ever lived. The man who killed him is behind you.
Rich, how would you kind of describe the differences between the comic book and the movie?
Yeah, like you mentioned, Jim, the biggest difference here is that you're dealing with superheroes, supervillains in the comic book, and assassins in the movie. In the comic book, the supervillains have basically killed all of the superheroes, and they're, dead. And so it's about, pacts between different supervillain groups and their struggle for power across the world. Really, the first third or so of the film is very similar to the comic book, dealing with Wesley's mundane life and how he's a very passive person, and it kind of rolls through his introduction to this new world and then his training as a killer, basically. But at about that point is when the film just takes a radically different path, and you're dealing with destiny and a loom that basically can kind of dictate what's going on, and how the assassins adhere to this code that's going on.
Well, the visual style of the film is pretty much the signature style of Timur Bekmambetov. He directed, as we said, the Night Watch and Day Watch films, and Wanted is in many ways very much almost an American retelling of Night Watch. One of the things that I really liked about the movie is that it's a kind of empathy you feel for a character who becomes the world's greatest killer. One shouldn't really feel that strong a sense of attachment to this guy, but it's because he is such an everyman that the story works. Where I think the movie isn't as strong as it needed to be is a lot of things are over-explained. There's a lot of exposition at times, and this whole loom of destiny kind of plot device, it's a hit and miss kind of thing. But if you want to see a movie where bullets can be curved, where the laws of physics just don't seem to apply, and where life is cheap, then Wanted is for you. I would give the movie 4 stars out of 5. Rich, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'd go probably with 3.5. It's definitely up there with Iron Man, and probably a little better than Hulk, probably in my book. I mean, it's interesting because for years people have been comparing comics to their movie counterparts and saying the closer those two are, the better, and the better the movie will be. In this case, the film and the comic book diverge quite a bit, and yet it's still just as satisfying as an experience. And there's plenty in the film that you won't see in the comic book, and vice versa, so making each one kind of an individual experience, and yet both incredibly satisfying. Though I honestly think that the film is probably a little better than the book in this case. So yeah, about 3.5, and definitely one of the better movies of the summer.
So that was our video review of Wanted. For the written review and video clips from the film, check out movies.ign.com. Thanks for watching.